Hey, folks. Happy Wednesday evening. Welcome to the pre-show, which lasts only about 3 minutes, and then we go live. So I'm just double checking all my settings. They all look good. Good as good can be. How's everybody tonight? Anita Palmer, good to see you. Field Guy, good to see you over there. Morgan Snow, great seeing you. We got anybody else in here yet? Susie Q. Susie Q is here. Good to see you. And we got, 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and we go live. So, oh, look, Ellery's here. Hey, Ellie. How you doing? Hi. You're so boisterous and loud until you get on here, and then you go, hi. How you doing?
Hi.
What's happening? Hi. So, she can come in during the pre-show, but not during the real show. So that's how we get it out of her system. So you got less than 2 minutes, and we go live. So just need to listen, said Morgan Snow. Yeah, we're doing some politics again tonight. It's not really politics. I see it as current events, as I've said before. So, there's so much going on. Bye, sweetie. You got to get ready for bed. Mom's going to be back any minute. Mom went to the store with Flynn to get him new shoes for track because they got track and field that Flynn is part of. He's got the build for it and the body for it. He's fast. He keeps taking first place in things, and now he's officially on the track team. So, but he needs new shoes. He went to track today, and they were just killing his feet. We found out we haven't replaced his shoes for doing stuff like that for 2 years. So they went to get him new shoes tonight. That's where Mom is right now. And we got less than a minute, and we go live. So everybody, hope you're all. Hey, Stephanie, Steph, and Kat, good to see you. And Grumpy Stack, good to see you all. Let's do this topic some justice tonight, huh? And then we'll talk about it a bit after the show in the captain's cabin. So, yeah, we got 15 seconds. We go live, so I'm going to go dark. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the program. Happy Wednesday evening. It's Wednesday, the middle of the week, hump day, as they say. And so it's all downhill for the rest of the week now. And it's warming up here. But we got rain and snow mix for the next couple days. And it's going to be up in the 50s by Sunday, so we're told. So that's going on for us here. A lot of the snow is melting off, which is nice. It's about time. And by the way, I'm Scotty Roberts. This is my show, the Intrepid radio program, right here on Subspace Radio. Subspace.radio. Boom, there we go. I don't know why that's so hard some days. I was talking to an old friend of mine today. No, it was my mom this morning. And now she's 80, and she's like, I just can't remember things anymore. She says, I try to remember a name or a thing or do this or do that, and it comes out all crooked. I said, Mom, I'm only 18 years behind you, but I'm doing the same thing. So that's it. The brain just starting to fit her out. My mom's got great mind, great presence of mind. But she's still, she says, I know, I'm just 80. So that's the way it's going to work. And she's still, as I've told you all before, she's still very active. She runs her own business. She runs a karaoke business, which she's been doing since the late 80s or the early 90s. So she's been at this for a long time. And she does that down in Yuma, Arizona. And hey, Viking Off-Roading, and Steph, and Uncle Dave is in the chat room. Uncle Dave Potter, and Field Guy, and Grumpy Stack, and Steph Cuervo Queen. And Kat is here tonight. And Morgan Snow. And who else we got? Anita Palmer is here. And Field Guy is here. And Susie Q is here. And so the list just keeps growing as people are coming in. So welcome, everyone. Tonight, we're going to do a show again on current events. Some people would say, oh, you're talking politics again. Well, yes and no. Current events involves politics. And the reason I'm doing this a little more over the last couple of weeks is some of the junk that's going on. And frankly, I'm so fed up with certain things that there's only so long that you can keep quiet and not say anything. And hey, let's talk about ghosts tonight. Yeah, that's fun and it's great. This show isn't, and of course, you go on TV or radio and you listen to people's ghost shows. They don't talk about politics, but this is a show that's based on current events. It's topic driven. And I've got that category, the little funnel of topics that I like to stay within. And right now, there is so much crap that's going on in our country that I could go back to 5 shows a week and 3 hours a night and still not run out of material with what's going on. First thing I want to say is when you look at the current administration, you look at the state of our country right now, and you say, why is it, and I already know the answer, but you can answer it in the chat room too. Why is it that our country, at least half of it, seems to be wearing blinders? They don't, oh, no, don't show me that. It's like they don't get it. And they're so worried that somebody is going to, I don't know, point out the fact that they made a huge mistake when they voted in the last election, that they just defend their guy. And that I saw some article today saying all of Biden's great accomplishments in his first 2 years. And yeah, folks, while you're laughing and the coffee's dribbling out of your mouth as you do so, that was a real article. There are people who believe Biden is doing a fantastic job. And I want to ask them what rock they live under. What country are they from? Because this country certainly is not doing any better under Biden. And the rule of his group of people, I don't even know what to call them. I'm not his administration. Is it a cabal? Not necessarily, but there is a ruling class that finally got the power back. They put Biden in because they knew they could do whatever they wanted. He's their puppet. And you watch that. You watch it every day. If you pay any attention, we seem to have this idea in our country that we can hop, skip, and jump through life. We don't have to pay attention to politics. We don't have to, and politics is the fighting, the infighting between the two parties. But we don't have to pay attention to that. It'll all take care of itself. There's good times coming again. And if the president's bad, it's not going to hurt us. Well, the problem is it is hurting us already. We've got enemies out there, real enemies that don't want to kill us all, but they want to control us all. You got China, you got Russia, you got China and Russia now coming back together again to create a huge front out there. These are the entities that ally with places like Iran and Iraq and all those other. The international picture is so off the scale right now. And what protects America from all of that is strong leadership, and a strong leadership that doesn't go begging after we closed down our own oil processing, where we were number 1 2 years ago and we were oil independent. We close that all down and we go begging to other countries like Saudi Arabia. And I got to tell you, the world is looking at us right now and going, what are you thinking, America? Now, of course, our system allows for this to a certain degree. It allows for us to get somebody in office, and then it allows for us to take them out of office. You can either live with it for 4 years and vote them out, or 8 years, depending. If somebody runs twice and gets in office twice, that usually means there's an overabundance of the people that support them. But right now, we are a country that's pretty much divided in half. And that one half saying, and by the way, that one half that supports Biden, do you know there's 44% of them as of last night anyway, last night's numbers, 44%, and that stayed pretty even and is growing, of Democrats that don't want to vote their own guy in. And Biden, and there is, I think, I'm trying to think of the statistics in my head. Those are the people that supported him. The people that voted him in, almost half of them are not going to vote for him if he runs again. But I guarantee you there are people out there are people listening to this show, people you know, who are going to vote for him again because why? That's their party. They've got to vote their party. Don't vote your party. Vote what is right for the country. And I say that to Republicans. I say that to Democrats. I say it to independents who are not a part of either of those parties. But that swing vote, put those votes where it counts, where you're going to get somebody into the office that's going to fix the country, that's going to work at resolving the problems, that's going to put us back in a position where we are not second to great major superpowers that would like to see us crumble. Is that scare tactics? No. It's truth tactics, is the way it's fact tactics. It's fact tactics. And so when we start looking at what's going on out there right now in our country and the way the world views us, do you think that there's any foreign power right now that respects Joe Biden? Do they look at Joe Biden and say, now there's a leader? We need to make sure we fall in line with what the United States is doing. No, I don't think so. They're seeing this as a chance to rattle the chains because America is not strong right now. America's faltering right now. You've got to start connecting all the dots. I have people out there, I've had, you could call them arguments, I call them discussions, with people on the trans issue, the issue of the Tennessee law that did not ban cross-dressing. It did not ban cross-dressing shows or drag shows. It did not ban homosexuality or LGBTQ++. None of that is banned. The law simply said you cannot perform a drag show or really any show that has sexually explicit content when there are minor children present. That's what that law said. Everybody's going apeshit over that law. And I've seen discussions where I contributed to a discussion. I said, well, this is what the law says. It's not saying everybody wants to color it as, oh, the state of Tennessee, they're just trying to vilify people who are different. I said, are you really kidding me? Do you know that little about current events that is the way you would describe the law in Tennessee? They're just trying to vilify people who are different? I said, you know what? I said, okay, if you want that law changed or rescinded, I tell you what, I said, I like boobs. Maybe it should be okay that pole dancers who do striptease, only topless, not bottom, just topless, maybe they should be allowed to do that in schools to show kids that, look, hey, You can get ahead. You can make good money because it's a job that'll always be available to somebody. And we're going to show you how to do it the right way. And we're going to be good and good-natured about it. And let's do a strip show in the elementary school. Because you know what? If kids are old enough to figure out that, hey, I want to change my sex and I don't have to tell my parents about it, they've been led down that green mile, then why can't they have strip shows too? It's just breasts, for God's sake. Men go topless every day. So why shouldn't women be able to? And do it in front of crowds where there are minor children. And so it's just ridiculous. The gymnastics of the imagination that are going on out there. So I got into a discussion with somebody about that. Then there was a discussion about the whole after the shooting down in Texas. Not Texas. See, this is what my brain does. I'm going blank. Where was the shooting 2 days ago? And the location of it. And I know what it is. I've said it 100 times and I went blank on it. That's the way my brain's working these days. So you've got the shooting, though. And you've got the president of the United States who came out and cracked jokes. Beth, we're talking about, I was bringing up the example for Beth Kirkham of all the weird silliness that's going on. Silliness is a polite word. The weird bullshit that's going on out there. And I mentioned about the Tennessee law that bans any kind of a cabaret show, they called it, or a drag show where there are minor children present. But the gay community, not everybody in the gay community, the militant branch of the gay community, who wants to make sure that what is foisted on you and forced upon you is not just accepting and live and let live. No, they want to make sure that you are forced into accepting them. You don't have to do that. So they don't like laws that point them out. And they were saying that that law is to vilify people who are different. I said, no, it's not. It's a law to protect children. That's why I brought up the strip show example. Hey, if you can do a drag show that has sexually explicit content in it, why can't you do a topless only? You know, they could wear jeans, they could wear G-strings, whatever. Why can't a woman do a strip show in public where there's children present? Why not? We all know what boobs are. Our kids are so sophisticated nowadays. You know, I was saying to somebody today, back when I was in high school, no, it was junior high school, so it was like middle school. I was ninth grade. They showed in literature class Franco Zeffirelli's classic Romeo and Juliet that was made in 1968. And there's a scene where Olivia Hussey, who plays Juliet, has a topless scene in there. And I remember when that came on, this is the mid-1970s, that scene came on and, somebody had to cover the projection lens. And everybody was like, all the boys were booing, boo, no. And everybody was laughing about it. The teachers were so concerned that they would have a 3-second shot of Olivia Hussey's bare breasts on the screen. That ain't nothing nowadays. But kids, I guess, are just too damn sophisticated anymore. My 8-year-old should now be able to see a drag show. And I had all these guys that support the drag shows, all part of the LGBTQ plus community, saying, well, my kids are safe with drag queens and so on. And I said, you are missing the point. You are trying to make something that a community says, no, we do not want that here, especially after many of the examples of what has gone on in public. You say, you might think that that's okay when you're performing it, but parents look at that and they go, no, you don't do that in front of my children. And so that's what they're all doing it. Yeah, don't take your kids. Yeah, you know what? Don't put on the show in a public place where kids can wander across it. Don't have them Beth, how do you not go to the show when it's presented at schools? No, that's not the answer. The answer is do those things in their appropriate locations, not in schools. There's no need for a kid to see a drag show with somebody gyrating or whatever. I sound old-fashioned. I sound like my grandpa when I say that word. There's no need for that for kids. My 8-year-old daughter doesn't need to see that in school. And that's the point. Beth, please, don't throw out questions like that. Be here. I love you. I'm glad you're here. But don't throw out questions like, when did that ever happen? Do you not listen to the news? Do you not look at what's going on? That frustrates me, Beth, on your account, because that means you're not paying attention. And don't leave because I said that. I'm not mad at you or anything. Anybody would say that. You're not paying attention. I don't look for it and I see it. I've seen it come up many, many times. This is why the law was passed. If the law wasn't made because it doesn't happen. That's the thing. So that's the problem. Drag shows, you say name once. No, I'm not going to name any of them because I don't have them memorized, but I've seen plenty of videos. I've seen plenty of news stories. I've read plenty of articles about parents that are really pissed off that some teacher brought in drag queens to their school to perform drag shows. If you don't think that's so, put in a Google search and look up drag shows in schools and see what responses you get. So, it has happened. It's happened enough that Tennessee passed a law about it. That's how much it's happened. And so it only angers me, not against you, Beth. I love you. I'm glad you're here. But before you say, come on, that doesn't happen. Yeah, it does happen. I wouldn't talk about it if it didn't happen. I'm not pulling this stuff out of my ass. I'm not angry because I farted and I dreamt that there was a drag show in a school somewhere. It's happened so much. There's been so much talk about it, so much action about it. And finally, a couple of states are starting to take action to rule against it being able to happen when minor children are present. That law exists because there was a problem with that very factor. All right. We haven't even gotten to the topic of the night yet. We're going to get there. So, Beth, don't take offense. If you were here talking and we were having coffee or drinks, whatever, I'd talk the same way. So, but go look it up. I encourage you to educate yourself on this topic. And I don't say that in a demeaning way. I'm saying don't throw out that it doesn't happen when I know damn well it does. And I know damn well that a lot of legislators are working on this very issue. There's 9 different states that are working on this right now because it is a problem. Uncle Dave says today they were discussing on the congressional floor with one of the Joint Chiefs about drag shows that are being sponsored on military bases at forums where children are present. Now, is the answer, well, just don't bring your kids? Well, no, it's presented as festival time, a little party, parade. You're going to go see different things going on. Oh, we got a drag show over on that stage. And if we have to say, then you shouldn't bring your kids, then why the hell are we allowing it to be done in schools? I don't care. If they want to have a drag show, have a drag show. But don't put it in my school. Don't have teachers in my school. If I had a teacher in my school that promoted that, my school board would be hearing from me. I can tell you that much. So at least the military, they're adults. But when it's a family event, there shouldn't be drag shows. I'm just saying. Just like there shouldn't be strip shows either. And you know what? A strip show isn't always raunchy. Strip shows, I've seen strip shows where it's just topless. You're not seeing much more than a woman on a beach who took off her top. But what's offensive about that? Why can't kids look at that? There's the big question. And Beth says, it period, does period, not period. Beth, I hope you're quiet right now because you're going to go look up the case. You're going to go look up the Tennessee law. You're going to go look up, and don't look for what just supporters of LGBTQ++ have to say about it. And by the way, Beth, if you go to Instagram, there is a LGBT++ community that is against these drag shows being performed in front of children. So much so, it's so fake that even they're saying something about it. So go look it up and find out what it says. Look at it from both sides. And I guarantee you're going to find it if you look for it. All right. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. I want to get to my topic. I'm talking about the president. And now I hope that all of you guys will take this and listen to it, take it to heart. This is from Congressman Steve Scalise, who is, of course, a Republican. But at the same time, this is something that's over on the scalise.house.gov. It's you can't say it's fake. It's right over on it's not a fake article. It's right over on the government site. It's Steve Scalise's page. And he wrote an article. It's a point-by-point article, where it says Biden's presidency is filled with failure, weakness, and chaos. So based on that, and based on what we've been watching for 2+ years, how can any of you out there justifiably, with good conscience, with good minds, say, we need to keep this guy in office and possibly vote him in again a second time? The only reason you would call for that is to try to block somebody from a party you don't like from getting in office. Because it certainly ain't going to be on the merits of the Biden presidency. The Biden presidency, it's filled with failure, with weakness, with chaos. As the world is sitting there watching us, watching our president, watching our country, they watched him deliver his State of the Union address. And it's important to remember that Biden has no plan to fix his self-made crises and to make America great, other than to say, have you heard how many times Jean-Pierre, his White House press secretary, has tried to blame this all on Trump? Are you kidding me? By executive fiat, the first week he was in office, all Biden did was try to erase everything Trump. So President Biden, Speaker Pelosi, congressional Democrats, far left socialist policies are hurting middle-class families now, today. It's destroying the economy. It's raising our cost of living. I got chewed out by my wife the other day because I bought jelly. I was out at the store and I only had to pick up a couple of things. And I said, you know what? We're out of strawberry jelly. I want some strawberry jelly. And so I picked up a jar of Smuckers, the big jar, not the Mondo jar, the big jar, just regular big jar. And Rainey kind of yelled at me. She, you can get the Our Family brand for, $1 off of that. I said, I don't like the Our Family brand. So if I'm going to eat jelly, I'm going to spend, you know what that was for that thing? 2 years ago, a year ago, that jelly cost like $3. It's now, if it was $5.79 for a big jar of strawberry jam. And so that's what's going.
I heard my name.
I was talking about buying jelly.
I want to talk about this jelly.
Here we go. Here we go.
I don't want to be misrepresented.
I don't think I misrepresented you. I said
Smuckers, because I don't like Our Family brand. Now,
I don't.
I will tell you. There was a year in there where you didn't say anything about brands, but because I know you like name brands, I just bought
certain
Our
name
Family
brands
jelly and shoved it in the Smuckers jar. And when you didn't complain about that for all the times I did it, then I just started buying.
I told you the jelly that I was eating, we were down to about this much in that jar, and I didn't like it. It started tasted slimy, and I'm like, this doesn't taste good. And when I walked through the store, I didn't go to the store to buy jelly, But as I walked through the store and I passed the jelly, I went, oh, I'm going to get a jar of Smucker's jam.
But we didn't need jelly. There's jelly on that shelf.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
On our
here's
survival shelf
here's
down
the
here.
thing. Here's the thing. You don't grocery shop. It's not your job. You don't know what there is. We are doing our best to save all the money we can save. So when you go to the store and just, I bought a few things, here's $100 worth of crap, and you come home with one bag, it's like, holy hell, we didn't.
Well,
need to spend
I
it.
spent $52 that day.
You didn't need to spend it because we have it. I shop the sales. I shop the best way that I can to save us every penny that we can save, so we can go out to pay everything else. So when you bring home the $5 and whatever jelly when I could have got it for $2.99, I get a little perturbed.
Yeah.
And when you buy the $5 loaf of bread that I could have got at the other store for $2, I get a little perturbed. That's then $5 that was wasted.
And the point we're making here is that under Biden, everything's gone up that much.
Oh my God. Under Biden,
So,
holy mofo, you people. Like, serious. I don't know if everybody out there grocery shops, but I could come home with a cart full of groceries for $200. A cart full of groceries now.
Field guy.
I can't afford. I have to shop like it's 1970, whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, I wasn't alive then, so I don't know what it was like.
That's right. You weren't alive when I was in high school. She was born 2 years after I graduated from high school. So, yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. We were talking about Biden, and I've got this here. Look at this. I've got this whole thing that Steve Scalise put together on, and we're only on point one. But Biden's presidency is filled with failure, weakness, and chaos. This is part of his congressional House government site that he put all this up. Did you know, I when I was studying this, did you know that there was an impeachment already out for Biden last year? But it didn't go through. It was just proposed. Based on, well, many different things. I don't want to even get into that. Hey, Sean Stroik.
I would like to say once again, like I always say, I wish they would put a term limit on every.
Did you know that Trump just in his rally the other day talked about instituting term limits?
There needs to be a term limit on every position, and it shouldn't be more than like 4 terms in any position, and you should have to either move up or move down.
Well, the president is currently at 2 terms. Congress, you can stay in Congress your whole life. Well, look at Joe Biden. He was 40 years he's been in politics.
I don't think any president should be more than 2 terms, because what if we get stuck with Biden for another term? Oh my God. What's going to happen? The world's going to explode.
And it's not going to be because people vote for him on his merits.
No. It's going to be because
it's like,
people are dumb.
I heard it said back when Obama was running for, I've mentioned this before, when Obama was running for his second term, I was listening to Rush Limbaugh back then, the late Rush Limbaugh. And he said, I have no fear of a second term of Obama. He said, we can survive a second term of Obama. We always do. We can survive these things. He says, what I don't think we can survive is a citizenry that would re-elect him to a majority. The same thing with Biden. I would say that more now than ever. I don't fear a second term. I'm not afeard, as Kenny Ballas would say. I'm not afraid of a second term of Biden. We can survive that, but not survive a citizenry that would put him in place thinking that he's doing a good job. That will be the big test, and that will be the problem. And in a way, I do kind of fear a second term of Biden, but I would rather see him as a lame duck president, and all those people getting out, and Congress once again getting a majority with the other side, and say, you do not have free reign to do whatever you want to do anymore. Checks and balances, folks. And it works both ways around. So political ideologies and stuff like that. So that's what I was talking about with the jelly. I was talking about inflation, the prices of things. And that's where I started it. I said, my wife got mad at me because I bought jelly.
Yeah, Doritos.
You bought Doritos?
No, Doritos have gone from like $3 a bag to $6 a bag.
That's right. Doritos, folks.
Doritos.
$6 a bag.
And I only know that because Ellie freaking loves blue Doritos.
See? She loves blue Doritos and gets those for $6 a bag. I love certain kinds of jelly, but I get
doesn't.
yelled at.
No, she doesn't.
What doesn't she? What does she like?
I haven't bought Doritos since they went up to $6 a bag. I refused to pay it.
Oh, you didn't buy it? Good.
No. That's
$6 for a bag. That's you could eat that in one sitting if you wanted to.
Aldi's is going to have to figure out how to make a better brand of their.
Beth says gas is going up again too.
Shut your mouth, Beth.
It was $3.29 here the other day, and the next day was $3.39 a day ago or a day or two ago. I happened to get it for $3.05 a gallon in some little outlying town on my way up to the north of Minnesota.
Well,
So
when I took the kids to Grand Slam last week for Scouts, it was $3.05 in Coon Rapids.
$3,631.49. That's what I've spent on diesel fuel for one truck this month so far, says Kat. Holy shit.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. And you know what? That's because we've agreed, well, our administration has agreed to abide by the green junk that's going on. The Paris Accords got us back into that. All that stuff. And so we can't produce our own oil anymore because we have to lower our footprint. But it's okay for us to go begging from Saudi Arabia for their oil. Joe Biden on his knees, kissing the sandals of the Sultan, or not Sultan, what do you call the Sudanese king? The king of Saudi Arabia. And why are we doing that when we can produce it ourselves? Well, we want to lower our imprint. And that's why they're pushing the electric. If you start connecting all the dots that are outlying dots to just a singular issue, you start to see what the problem is. Everything is being done to follow through with a certain agenda that the Biden administration wants to have. And it's not Joe doing it. When you see him get up after 6 people were murdered by a trans person. God, if it had been a MAGA person, that'd be splattered all over. That's all they'd be talking about.
Are we talking Nashville?
Yep. Nashville. Yep. And so this trans person did it.
I was watching videos on that today, and they don't say trans, they say she.
Yeah, they call her she, not trans. So
was she a she or was she a he?
I don't even know. I don't know if she was a she or a he. So it might have been a she. But anyway, Biden came out. You all have heard this by now, I'm sure. I've watched the video over and over again on different news plays that Biden came out and he started joking around. He was joking around. He was talking. Yeah, he got serious when he started speaking about it. But he got out and talking about ice cream and eating certain kind of chocolate chip ice cream, designer ice cream. And no joke, it's up in my fridge upstairs, he said. And I'm watching this, and here's the president of the United States coming out to address the nation 3 hours after it happened about the murder of 6 people. And he leads off with talking about ice cream. He said, that's why I came down. He came out and he said, I'm Joe Biden. I'm Jill Biden's husband. People kind of chuckled, and then he started talking about, I came down, but, as I came down because I heard you had chocolate chip ice cream. And no, you came down to address the nation about a tragedy that just took place, and that's how you start out. And he did kind of the same thing again today. Anita Palmer says, Mrs. Scotty, check out BJ's. I have to, check out BJ's, Mrs. Roberts. And
is there what is
one
BJ's?
close by, not sure how to spell your name. So, it's Rainy, Rain with an I at the end. What's BJ's? Is that a grocery store? What's BJ's?
I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, hit that, but not like that. Beg, borrow, and steal. I don't care. how it's done.
am
You
gonna
just
go
do your
upstairs.
damn
Kids are
job, Joe.
screaming and they should
That's
be
what I
in
want.
bed.
I want him to do his job. He can't.
Good night.
He cannot. Hence the title of tonight's show. Good night. I'll see you in a little while. Don't put the sloppy joes away. I'm going to have one. I haven't eaten since like noon. So, Joe Biden, the question I asked in the title, why is he still in office? The answer isn't, well, because we're a republic and we're a representative republic and we voted him in. No, why is he still in office? He should have been removed by now. And it doesn't have to be for nasty things. It could just be he's removed because he's not competent. Has he taken a competency test? We have a leader of our country that's supposedly the quote-unquote the leader of the free world who poops his pants in front of foreign dignitaries. For God's sake, people, he's an old man that needs to have retired. Not going to get into that again. Why is he still in office? Now, I started going through all this stuff, and we only got to one point. What is it? It's 9:41. Let's see what we can get through. I'm just going to read you this list. Biden is crippling the American people's personal finances. Thanks to President Biden, out of control spending, destructive economic policies, inflation have all reached their highest level in 40 fucking years. With the consumer price index rising by 7.5% from January of last year, or of 2020 to January of 2021. Gas prices remain at a 7-year high and going up again. Levels not seen since Joe Biden was vice president. And so the average national price for a gallon of gas is at its highest level since July of 2014. Now, this is a few months old. This was written during the time that Biden was giving his State of the Union. So this is a couple months old already. But an increase in the cost of everyday goods. Jelly. Almost $6 for a jar of jelly that cost $2.79 a year ago or 2 years ago. There's an increase in the cost of, and why do you think those prices are going up? Because gas prices are going up. When prices go up and when corporations are taxed, you know what? They're not feeling it. You know why? Because they pass that on to the consumer. Why do you think prices go up? So an increase in the cost of everyday goods and services disproportionately hurts lower income families. We're a low income family. We're not impoverished. Sometimes we feel like it. But we don't make a hell of a lot of money. We're hit really hard by this stuff. Real average hourly earnings have decreased by 1.7% because of inflation. Jobs haven't increased. Pay hasn't increased. That's all a fucking lie. And it's a lie based on misconstruing all the information and not giving you most of the information so you can actually say that. Like, for instance, all the jobs that were lost because of the shutdowns of all the businesses during COVID. You know what? We had a boom in hiring. The biggest hiring in 40 years. You know what? That was all the people getting their jobs back, not new jobs. Now, it's not the president's job to make jobs. It's the president's job to make an atmosphere where business grows. Moving on. On top of rising gas prices for everyday goods, costs for other essential items like healthcare are also rising. Seniors are seeing the largest ever Medicare Part B premium increase in 2022. Moody's Analytics concluded that inflation is costing American families more than an additional $250 a month. Now, that might not seem like a lot if you're making good money. Let's say you make $8,000 a month and you got all your bills covered. What about the people that only make $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month. That's killing them. So who's it hurting? The poor. According to a poll conducted by ABC News, Ipsos, 75% of Americans said Biden's economy was not so good or poor, while only 1% view the economy as excellent. Then you got to ask, are they answering excellent so it doesn't hurt their president in the poll? Everybody I know is touched by this. Democrats' inflationary policies are hurting, not helping Americans. Biden's foreign policy blunders embolden America's adversaries. We talked about this with China and Russia. President Biden's weak leadership, his lack of foreign policy strategy, have crippled the United States' power and influence on the world stage. Afghanistan has fallen to the Taliban. China has ramped up its aggression against Taiwan after seeing what we did in Afghanistan. Hong Kong and the Uyghurs, now Russia, has invaded Ukraine. So this invasion will have immediate consequences here in the United States. American families are already facing an increase in energy prices. Our energy bills are through the roof in our house. We got this today. I shoved it in my pocket from our Department of Administration, Division of Energy, Housing, and Community. Just a little postcard they sent out. The postcard said, apply for the Wisconsin Home Energy Plus programs today. That's how bad it is. We're getting stuff like that in the mail. So as a necessary first step, the House Republican whip Steve Scalise called on President Biden to immediately reverse his anti-American energy policies. Anti-American. And this is crucial for America's economy and national security alike. President Biden's poor foreign policy decisions have fueled the rise of the Taliban and Russia's aggression against Ukraine. Yet we keep sending them billions of dollars. I'm all for helping out our pals, but I think if we're going to be sending that much money to a foreign country, we need to better start stepping up our own gas and doing things that help us at home. Vladimir Putin and the rest of the world saw President Biden withdraw U.S. troops from Afghanistan without concrete plans to protect Americans and Afghan citizens or prevent the Taliban from taking over the country. And ever since Biden abandoned Americans in Afghanistan, which he did, that is not rhetoric. Putin believes that he'll do nothing to help the Ukrainian people against the Russian invasion. But we keep pumping him with money. Biden's bad energy policies have emboldened Moscow to expand its energy foothold throughout Europe. The Keystone XL pipeline would have created thousands of jobs in America and made us retain our oil dominance in our country, oil independence, I'm sorry. And it also would have helped the United States maintain global dominance and transport oil from Canada, an ally and one of the world's cleanest oil producers, to U.S. refineries. Set aside the whole Standing Rock Reservation thing, because I supported that. You reroute that. You find a different way, but we need that pipeline. However, President Biden revoked an essential permit for Keystone XL pipeline, which weakened the United States' energy security in the process. This list is so long, we're not going to make it during showtime tonight. President Biden, if you want to hear this, we're done in, about 6 minutes over on the radio. No, looking at the clock wrong. We are done in, 12 minutes over on the radio. So we'll get through more of this. If you want to tune into the YouTube channel after we go off air over at subspace.radio, if you're listening over there, come on over to the YouTube, tune us in. We'll keep talking about this until we're done. So Putin's aggression toward, Biden chose weakness months ago when he canceled the Keystone XL pipeline, but allowed Nord Stream 2 pipeline between Germany and Russia days after Russian criminals hacked the Colonial Pipeline. Why would President Biden choose to eliminate American energy and American energy jobs and American pipelines, but favor Russian jobs. Well, if Trump done that, it would be collusion, Russian pipelines, Russian dominance over our allies. Why did Biden allow that to happen? Because he knows shit about foreign policy. He is not a strong leader, and he is not making the decisions. Somebody else is. Putin's aggression toward Ukraine can be traced directly back to President Biden's far-left energy policies that have limited American energy production and made the United States more reliant on countries like Russia for oil. You know, we buy oil from Russia while we're funding Ukraine to fight them. So instead of weakening domestic energy development, President Biden should turn America's energy-producing states that could significantly contribute to all of the above energy strategy that utilizes American energy resources and protect the U.S. from energy security, or protect U.S. energy security. But sadly, President Biden and his incompetent foreign policy have created yet another example of America conceding on the world stage. And it doesn't just hurt us, it hurts our allies. With no rule of law, illegal immigration and crime have surged. Since President Biden assumed control of the White House, more than 2.3 million illegal immigrants have been apprehended attempting to enter the United States. This number surpasses the population of Houston, Texas, the fourth largest city in America. And in January of 2022, U.S. Customs and Border Protection experienced the worst January in history, with 153,941 migrant encounters. And 1 year earlier, in January 2021, there were 78,414 migrant encounters. That is a 96.3% increase. And it's even worse now, a year later, in January of 2023, with the numbers I don't have in front of me. To add insult to injury, a court filing revealed that more than 62,000 illegal immigrants were released into the United States in January. Oh, you can go. In President Biden's first 100 days in office, he issued more than 94 executive actions in 100 days on immigration, including halting the construction of President Trump's border wall and ending the Trump administration's successful Remain in Mexico policy, which now, if they haven't done it already, they're already looking at reinstating the Remain in Mexico policy. They're already looking at completing the wall. Why? They can't say this, but Trump was right. So now, as a result of the Biden administration reversing President Trump's successful border security, his immigration policies, migrants carrying illicit substances, fentanyl, are attempting to enter the United States at an alarming rate. Just last year, U.S. Customs and Border Protection captured 839 pounds of deadly fentanyl at the southern border. Do you know all it takes is a little pinch to kill a human being? And to kill a community, so I've heard. And so the fentanyl overdoses are leading cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 45. And the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration found a direct link between Mexican cartels and fentanyl-related overdose deaths. Shit, guys. Democrats' discontent for the rule of law enforcement extends well beyond their efforts to open America's borders and give mass amnesty to illegal immigrants. Mass amnesty. Violent crime and murders are increasing because Democrat-run cities slashing funding for their police departments and implemented anti-law enforcement policies that incentivize malicious behavior, let vicious criminals back into their communities. Same guy who's Bragg, who's trying to indict Trump for something that's a non-indictable offense, really, when it comes down to it. He's one of the leading state district attorneys that has changed the laws that release a lot of criminals onto the street. But boy, you got to get Trump. You know why? It's a political move because he's an opponent. You got to take him out. So the statistics all speak for themselves on this. Democrats' far left rhetoric, their policies, their actions have jeopardized the safety of our nation's law enforcement officers and vulnerable communities that need them. Supply chain crises see no end in sight. Pandemic lockdowns, vaccine mandates, labor shortages, increased demand for consumer goods have created both a domestic and international supply chain crisis that directly impacts American families. Materials and equipment that are not being sent to factories as scheduled. Shipments of finished products aren't reaching distributors. Congestion at ports and other transportation bottlenecks are making it nearly impossible for shipments to arrive in stores or to your doorstep on time and increasing their price to you, the consumer. President Biden's failed to deliver on his promise to provide relief from supply chain bottlenecks. Cargo ships are now simply waiting farther out at sea, no longer in our American waters. So you can say there's no ships waiting in our waters. That's because they're still out at sea. So in a survey conducted by the National Federation of Independent Business, 64% of small business cite the supply chain crisis as the reason they had to raise their prices. 64%. Regular Americans are paying the price, and they're experiencing the consequences of the Biden administration's failing transportation policies. Folks over on the radio, we got about a minute, and we're going to have to get out of here. So you're going to want to go over to youtube.com/Scotty Roberts, where we're going to continue this so you don't miss any of it. Democrats flip-flop on COVID restrictions and mask mandates. President Biden, Speaker Pelosi, congressional Democrats all champion mask mandates in schools, even when there were no clear benefits for children. Republicans have said from the beginning that mask mandates do harm to children more than good. Children need to see facial expressions in order to understand emotions, process language, learn word pronunciation, let alone breathe right. And I got to stop us there for the radio. Guys, if you're sitting over on the radio, come on over to youtube.com/Scotty Roberts, and you will be able to participate with us. So for now on the radio, live long and prosper. Everyone else, sit tight.
Join us every weeknight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Intrepid Radio Program, a Scotty Roberts Productions broadcast.
All right, folks, welcome back. Thank you for sitting here during the radio show. If you're joining us from the radio station, listening to the audio, this is it. This is where you are. Join the chat room here. Come and chat with the fellow Intrepids here in the captain's cabin, which is really just an elaborate name given for the post show. Now, I'm going to continue on talking about what we were talking about here because I think this is important. I think that we need to have this information. So let's keep going. We were talking about the COVID flip-flopping. Republicans have said from the beginning that the mask mandates do more harm to children than good. This we're finding out even more now is true. And Dr. Lucy McBride, a well-respected physician in Washington, D.C., believes that masks can negatively impact a child's ability to learn. In an interview, she said children need to see faces to develop emotionally and socially at those ages. And that isn't just the case. If you're really passing disease, should you wear a mask? That's the point. And do the masks actually prevent disease? How about the shots? Like I said, I know some people that were very intent and got every shot and got their shot, their vax, got their boosters, every one of them, and still got sicker than I ever got. So House Republican Whip Steve Scalise, Senate Republican Whip John Thune published an op-ed about the need to unmask America's school children and how Democrats' inconsistent masking guidelines are harming kids socially, emotionally, and educationally. So Democrat policies supported by the Biden administration's guidance are making it harder for women to return to or stay in the workforce. Mothers want to return to work to look for their job or look for jobs, but onerous and unscientific COVID policies continue to disrupt in-person learning at schools and the reliability of daycare at home. Now that the polling shows Democrats' handling of COVID has tanked, Democrat politicians and the Biden administration are suddenly dropping their mask mandates. They're changing their metrics for the mask wearing. What the Biden administration is doing in things over and over and over and over again, if you haven't noticed, they just change boats midstream. Oh, okay, we're going to do it this way. And they try to pretend everything they pushed for didn't happen. The Biden administration's vaccine and mask-wearing mandates and their extended lockdowns have been absolutely devastating for America's children and the parents who care for them. Except in the state of Florida, where DeSantis wasn't having any of that shit. So the bottom line, instead of defeating COVID-19 and unifying the country like he promised, President Biden has worsened our divisions. He's made Americans poorer. He's made us less safe than when he assumed the office. And under the Democrats' control of Congress and the White House, energy costs and the price of everyday goods have skyrocketed and continue to do so. Our enemies no longer fear us in the world. Violent crime is on the rise. Our supply chain is broken. And unvaccinated and untested illegal immigrants are welcomed into the United States by the thousands, while deadly fentanyl flows over our open border. There's an inconsistency right there. All the lockdowns, so that we get more immigration of people that weren't vaccinated than. Congress has a responsibility to correct President Biden's spineless leadership and prioritize parents, workers, families, children, small businesses. Do you know the only time children matter to this administration is if somebody shoots them in a school. Then suddenly children matter to them because they don't matter on every other front. And I'm afeard, as Kenny would say, to tell you that the Biden administration is all about politicizing anything they can because it's all about retaining power. Now, Does anybody want power when they get into this? Sure. But there's some people that crave power because they actually want to fix America. There are others that crave power because they want to call the shots. Ronald Reagan said it best. He said the government that governs less governs best. That's not what you're seeing going on. What did Sean say? My boy's scout troop's mother would not let him play in his own backyard for fear of COVID for 2 years. It's ridiculous. I see people driving in their cars with their masks on. Still. It's like Wendy sent me a picture of a guy laying on a beach, an older guy laying on a beach in England, and he's wearing his mask, suntanning. It's like, you're going to have hella tan lines there, buddy. They're still pushing the vaccines. They are. I get it all the time. Every time I go to my health partners site to look at my charts or my kids' charts and so on, that's the first thing that pops up is they add to get your vaccines. So I ain't getting a vaccine. I didn't get the original one. Kat says, we got our shots. We weren't taking any chances making our 80-plus-year-old farmers sick. I hear that. The old people are the only real ones that pay their damned freight bills. Though, there you go. Anita says, if Trump should win in 2024, I fear this country is going to see chaos, the likes we've never seen. Yeah, it's going to happen. Chaos by the dumb, by the way. That's why they try to make so much out about the January 6th bullshit. They need to have the other side be as bad as they are. So, so there you go. That was Steve Scalise. That was all of his information on the Biden administration and why there's a problem. Everything from gas prices. He said, and what he says the Biden presidency is filled with failure, weakness, and chaos. We need somebody else in that office. Biden needs to be put out to pasture. He needs to be set on his porch in a rocker. Biden doesn't even know what he's talking about when he's talking about it. I swear to you, folks, I've seen more videos in the last few days of this man speaking. There was an open mic thing where somebody was leading him out at a factory yesterday. And the guy's talking to him, and there's going to be a line of people behind you. You can say hi to them when you get up there. And then you stand on the blue spot, the blue X. And Biden says, okay, I can do that. Stand on the blue X. There's a leader for you. Then when he was exiting, when he was done talking, he walked off all the way to the right. And he points. I watched him do it. He points and he's like, where the fuck am I? And he turns around and somebody's already walking over to get him. He doesn't know what he's doing. All of that says to me, and so the original question of the night, why is Joe Biden still in office? Should there not have been a 25th Amendment putting him out to pasture? Saying, look, President Biden, you are not competent to run or to stay in the office. But they don't want Kamala Harris in. Their own people don't want her in because that's what would happen next. They'd have to take her out of office as well. Then who gets there? Well, right now it would be Matthew McCarthy because he's now the Speaker of the House. I got to tell you, folks, we are in a mess in this country like I've never seen my whole life. We've had messiness. We've had problems. We've had stuff going on. We've never had a mess like this before. And it's ridiculous. So That's where I wanted to take us tonight. That's what I wanted to take us into. And if my wife hadn't come in and complained about me complaining about the jelly, we'd have finished it within time. I'll just say, I'm a grown man. If I want to spend almost $6 on a jar of jelly, I'm going to damn well do it. Shh, don't tell my wife I said that. Because I'm a grown man. I'm the boss of me. I was just saying to a friend of mine today that it's funny. We're grown men. I'm a 62-year-old grown man. And I can't make a decision as simple as buying jelly. So, I mean, that's the way it works. It's just the way it is. So, I'll send you my strawberry margarita jam recipe. Oh, please do. Oh, I thought for a minute there, I thought you were going to send me a jar of your strawberry margarita. I don't want to make jelly. Although, if I had maple trees, I'd tap them. It's that time of year. I heard a story a couple days ago where they're saying the maple syrup up here, perfect because the ups and downs of the temp. That's actually perfect for for the tapping of maple trees. The weather's been great for it. Arr!
Arr. I knows a guy that's a proprietor of a place what has all kinds of jams and jellies. I could arrange a shipment of jams for you.
Why, I might find that very interesting.
Imagine raspberries and peach cobbler and all kinds of things like that in a jar I could bring to you.
All in a jar.
You wouldn't need to know because I can smuggle it in such a way as she wouldn't know it's there.
I would say, bring me a jar, will ya? So, or 2 or 3. I like strawberry preserves. I like the kind where you open it up, it goes when you open it, and you dip your spoon in, and you're pulling out chunks of strawberry. I don't want
strawberries is a fine thing. I know other captains what favor their strawberries.
Oh, strawberries! It was the strawberries, and so my kids like the squeeze bottle stuff.
You got to have some bearings. And then you strawberries.
Yeah.
See, they were after me. Strawberries.
Strawberries.
I had to keep an eye on them. Cans of strawberries disappearing all the time.
We're talking Humphrey Bogart, folks. If you didn't realize, The Cane Mutiny is the name of that movie.
Oh my God! And you that's out of real life. You can't make that shit up.
Nope.
There's a captain that was wound a little too tight.
A little bit. So I like strawberry preserves. I don't like my kids like the squeeze bottle stuff. Where you go squeeze and it comes into this ooze of jelly.
It's a strawberry goo.
It's not even strawberry. It's like, well, maybe it is.
Strawberry-like flavored product.
But they like grape and they like the strawberry. I tried that once and it was like you squirt it out on your bread and you go, I just wasted a piece of bread. It starts soaking into the bread. And I want chunky strawberry. I want to chew on my jelly. That's like I like crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah,
and
I do too.
Loaded down fruit in my preserves. That's the way.
No Marmite?
No, I don't like Marmite.
John can keep his Marmite.
Or a Vegemite sandwich. Yeah, John can keep the Marmite. He just called me yesterday.
Did he?
A nice long conversation. Yeah, it was good to talk to him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
At about 3 a.m, I noticed he was online, and I was thinking, what the hell is he doing online? But then I realized
it's 9 o'clock in the morning there.
It's another day over there.
Yeah. So, John, we're talking about John Ward, folks. John Ward, my good friend who gave me that bust of sentiment over there, which you can't see now. And he's an archaeologist in Egypt.
Actually, he's at home in Sweden right now.
And they're home in Sweden, yeah. And they got on, and Maria walked across the camera, and she goes, "Hello, Scotty," in her Swedish accent. And I go, "Hey, beautiful." And I went, Well, I said, I just called you beautiful. I mean, I know them well enough to use. I've just never called her that before. I said, I just called you beautiful. I said, I don't normally call you that. And she says, at my age, I'll take it. Something to that effect. And
Like she's old.
like
Oh
she's
my
old.
God.
She's one of the most
Yeah,
gorgeous, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Swedish women.
Freya's getting old. I was like,
I
how could
know.
Freya be that old? In
She's,
my brain, she's still tiny.
She's not Rowan's age. I thought she was Ellery's age.
I think she's
About
pretty close to Ellery's age.
half a year older than Ellery, I think. So, Vegemite's supposed to be tasty, says Elderberry. I tasted it once. It tasted like used motor oil. It just had this. Seriously, it's like used motor oil jam. And
It's proves that petroleum products come from organic.
That's right. They come from organic things. There is no old, just vintage, said Field Guy.
Yeah. Now kippers. I'll do kippers in the morning on toast.
I like kippers on toast. I like
good smoked salmon on a bagel.
I got 3 cans of I got cans of pink salmon upstairs, not smoked, but I like smoked salmon. I like if I want to really be eating right, I ate a lot of fish and sardines and kippers and stuff like that right after the heart surgery. That's it. I just wanted to make sure I was doing okay, doing the right things. And so I ate a lot of that. We still got a ton of cans of that stuff.
Smoked oysters with Tabasco.
Yep. All of that stuff is very good. So, bug powder is bugs. That's very true, Susie Q. Soylent would still be better than fruit soup. Fruit soup doesn't. Cold fruit soup. If I'm going to eat soup, I want it to be hot. And
nobody wants to eat hot strawberries.
Maybe it's growing older, but I like brothy soups these days. Give me a good brothy soup over a hamburger any day, and almost any day. Because there's some days I really want a big, fat, juicy, rare hamburger. A good one. I'm talking good meat, made well. We've talked about it here. We do the Sasquatch burgers here at my house. We've dubbed them. And that's where you put a little peanut butter in between 2 thin patties and you squeeze the edges. You put jalapenos in them if you want. Shallots. I like to cut up shallots or leeks and smash them into my peanut butter. And and with the peanut butter in the middle, the crunchy peanut butter is the best. I used to get peanut butter from Hell's Kitchen in Minneapolis. And you talk about expensive. I think my wife freaked out about a $6 jar of jelly. Wait till I get
back when I was married. And you'd think we were scraping the barrel and poor. We were both bringing in really good money. We were putting $2,000 a month in savings. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I come home one day and Amy's half in tears and I'm like, what's wrong? And she goes, I bought a bottle of pop and a bag of chips today and I'm like, okay. And she said, I shouldn't have spent that money. And I'm like,
yes, no. Beth Kirkham, by the way.
I'm like, it's a bottle of pop and a bag of chips.
Soup. Isn't that a smoothie? She said, yes, it is.
And what I didn't tell her is I bought lunch at Subway for the entire crew at my store. I dropped, I don't know, 30 or 40 bucks, maybe 50.
That's what it costs to take my 3 kids to McDonald's. 2 of them to
Yeah,
McDonald's.
and she's concerned about a bag of chips and a bottle of Coke, and not like a 2-liter bottle, like one of those 20-ounce bottles. And I was just like, why are you freaking out over that? I just don't get that.
Look at this boy.
Flynn.
He's so tall, I can't get his head in.
Yeah. I'll speak to you in your own language.
How you doing? Fine. What did Mom do?
You showing off a hickey?
So
she punch you?
No, I inhaled something in the car.
Rowan or Ellery?
Hold on.
I inhaled.
Mom did that to him.
Ooh.
in the car.
What did you inhale in the
I
car?
don't know. I think
Shouldn't-
I think it was.
Talk to your mom that way.
A hair? He inhaled a hair in the car. Dave, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Dave disappeared. Anyway, so you inhaled a hair.
And I was like drinking water and then spitting it out the window.
Yeah.
And Mom thought I was done, so she started to roll up the
Oh,
window. And I gagged on the water and went to spit it out again. And I hit my face.
oh, that sucks. Did you spit it all over the window?
Oh,
Okay. So he's wounded from Mom shutting the window on his head. Oh, there's Dave. There he is.
That's the
He got-
damn
he got
scream
wounded.
that
Mom-
booted me.
Mom shut the window on his head in the car.
Why was it hanging out? Are you a dog or something? Why were you hanging your head out the window?
He got a piece of hair in his throat, and he tried to rinse his mouth. He inhaled a piece of hair, and he spit it out the window. And Rainey thought he was done, and he went to do it a second time, and she closed the window on his face.
and I gagged on it, so I moved forward really fast. And
Yeah.
I hit my chin really hard.
Oh, I can see that. You broke the skin.
That's
Yee.
terrible. That's terrible.
So this is
Okay. So the story at school is you were defending your little sister and somebody hauled off and decked you.
They wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
He doesn't defend his little sister. I'm kidding. Yeah, tell him you were defending your mom. You tackled a would-be rapist.
Yeah, I don't think they'd buy that either because they'd be more fearful for the rapist than.
Yeah.
What did your mom do to him?
So what kind of shoes did you get?
I didn't get shoes.
You didn't get them?
Mom said she would buy them tomorrow.
Get some wedges or some pumps or something.
Track.
Oh, track. Oh,
It's
you're gonna do track?
Track and
Oh.
field. So
High jump?
they went out to get shoes and they were gone for a couple hours and they came back with no shoes. That happens a lot in our family.
Did you forget what you were going after?
No. Mom's got
How many bags of groceries and such did you come back with?
None.
Oh,
Not
okay.
bringing
See,
any
that's
home.
No. I just got
She brought a humidifier home yesterday.
I got a new mouse. It was like $5.
You got a new mouse?
I went to the store yesterday to get a case for carrying wet paintings. Okay, a wet canvas case. I went in, they didn't have any, and I came home with like 12 canvases because canvas was on sale.
That's the problem with going to, where'd you go, Dick Blick's? Or
No,
Wet Paint?
I can't get up to the cities to go to Dick Blick's right now because I don't have anyone to babysit my mom.
That's
So I
right,
was
you're down
over
in Rochester.
at the Hobby Lobby, and they are getting ready to
Hobby Lobby.
remodel, and so they've discontinued. I'm gonna buy tomorrow 3 new frames. I've got 3 big paintings I want to do, and the canvases are 84 by 60 something. Okay, big canvases, and they're normally $100 a piece.
It's not me, it's you.
They're down in like $50 a piece right now because they want to get rid of stock so they don't have to move it.
It's nice having you here. You can stick
Hey.
around if you want. You can leave if you want to.
How you doing?
How you doing, Phil guy?
I'm good. Someone
hey to
kept
Flynn.
saying that. Someone kept saying that word shoes, which I have to look
he
at
needs
every
track
day.
Shoes.
Oh,
Yeah, for track and field.
New Balance.
Athletic shoes.
Is it New Balance? Is it Adidas? Or is it Nike?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't like buying from Nike.
No, I stare at Nike every day. I want to torch it. I tell people, stop buying this crap. And they look at me like,
I don't like Nike.
no, me neither, but they own a lot of the crap that's in the stores.
That's it. They have good
Yep.
gear, though.
50%
You would
of the
choose named
stores.
after a Norse god, anyways.
That's right.
Well, I won't take it pictures, but
Adidas are good shoes.
might be athletic shoe. I don't know.
Who knew for all these years we were pronouncing that word wrong?
Adidas?
Yeah.
I know.
The ice
Adidas.
cream?
No,
Adidas.
it's not pronounced Adidas the way we thought it was for 20 years growing up.
Adidas. You tell all
It's
your friends at
Adidas.
schools it's Adidas.
Oh, we don't pay attention to that.
What?
It's actually true, Flynn.
It is true, Flynn.
It's a German shoe, and in Germany, it's pronounced Adidas.
Adidas.
I work for a German company. I call Birkenstock Birkenshire. Just
Very nice.
the other day I had Germans come in and I go, "Oh, what you want?" Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Germans? That's what they do,
So,
huh?
I don't know. I can speak a little bit of German, but I
Honorable
just start,
Frau.
So,
Yes.
I just look at him and go, "We won that war. I don't speak your language. You learn English yet?"
Not really.
I just pull out the Nazi coin and I go, "Oh, look, souvenir."
All right, Scotty Roberts, ugly American. You speak American to me.
That's right. None
All
of
right.
this, what you call it? Speak language.
Yeah.
They come up to me, moshi, and I go, huh? What?
Do me a favor. Turn on that fry pan up there. Just on very low. Warm that stuff up.
Okay.
Thank you, son. Good to have you on.
Make more YouTube stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, Field Guy wants to see more of your YouTube stuff.
I just
send me
happened
out a
to catch
friend
one of them.
request.
Why not? I don't know what game it is, but why not, right?
Right.
Ooh, we can get him monetized. We're doing good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Um,
So I've run out of steam for the night. Did you want to come and talk about doing videos? Oh, because you came back in. He left the room, but now he's back.
I didn't leave.
promote your channel. You have
I can't
52
tell
people.
over the top of my computer.
Well,
Flynn, promote your channel.
Yeah, what's your
7?
channel so people can come and see it? He's gonna go get his phone.
Oh, do what I do. I made a video when I was at work. They have a it's actually where the cemetery. I tell you about the cemetery is behind, back that way where I work at. Not even 200 yards behind where I work at. There's a cemetery because it was an old. The land was a plantation in the 1850s, and it's a slave cemetery. I haven't filmed it yet because I haven't opened it. There's a big gate around it, but I don't know. But I took a video of it. I don't know if you could see it in the background. I gotta pull it up. Well, I actually posted it on my YouTube channel. But I think I just took a thing of if I could find it.
Do you hear voices?
Oh,
Do you hear
Some
screams?
interesting talking going on. I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about. Hoses and cooking and prisoners or something like that.
that's the fountain.
Here's Flynn's back. What do you got there? A fountain?
That's the fountain behind my work, and then where those woods are,
Yeah.
that's the back that way is the cemetery, like directly
Okay.
behind where I work at. I don't think you can see it. There's the interstate.
And that's where, because he's in Louisiana, that's where all the alligators live and snakes.
Oh, there's turtle. There's an alligator in that damn water. I've seen it.
And it's humid. So you got humidity.
Turtle.
You got snakes that'll bite you. You got alligators that'll eat you. Jeez. Oops. Hold
That's
on.
not too much.
Sorry about
Oh.
that.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
It actually ended. I only took a minute of it.
I thought he
trying to
bumped
do-
a bunch of.
I was trying to just put anything up there to see if it sticks. You know, I got like 4 people watching my channel to get me 4,000. So
Each
I'm like,
channel-
let's do people.
Flynn's channel is
Is it still called Flynn Plays?
Flynn Plays with a
That
Z.
just proves I've watched it.
With a Z.
He had 79 subscribers, I think, the other last week.
Now we do have parental protections on this, but
No.
oh, you don't anymore?
He bypassed
Here,
all
you
that.
haven't
He's a
seen
smart
this.
13-year-old.
That's when he took the dare and he cut his
Oh.
hair last year.
There's a
And he made how much did you make for cutting your hair?
$60.
He shaved the top of his head bald. Then we took some of his long hair and strung it over the top like a cheap comb over. That's one of his videos.
I keep telling people, I tell ladies at work, I say, if you want to pay me enough money, I'll wear heels for a day.
I didn't think so. You look very small there.
You got to pay me a lot of money.
Like 4 feet tall.
Keep talking.
Well, there's a whole bunch of them. Flynn Plays.
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of videos up here.
Oh, those are. Oh, I see.
See, the phone is a lot different. I can't pull up stuff I want on my phone.
Do you have more than one channel?
Is that your animation stuff?
Yeah.
Well, it's only 3 seconds though. Oh! What I hit? I don't know what I hit. So, yeah, Flint's getting his channel going. He's got videos up.
Well,
Flynn
I'm
plays.
confused because when I type in Flynn plays, brings up a whole bunch of stuff.
No, there's a lot of channels named that.
That
Well,
figures.
I know.
Well,
his
which one
in
is
my-
you?
in my stream somewhere.
Which one is you?
My
What's your picture? Your baldy picture?
no.
Get the
What's your email? Does you got your email at it?
Hold on, he's looking it up.
What?
What picture do you have up there?
It's it. That's my picture.
Yeah, that's the pictures he's got up. There you go.
Oh, that one.
Hey, look at this, folks. All oops, bang.
there goes the
Look at
phone.
Look how much he looks like his mom.
Oh,
Look at
Cat,
this.
I can't get into the cemetery right now because it's all gated off.
Look at that. Think he
I'll
looks
try.
like his mom?
Yeah. Kind of looks like a Vulcan in that one.
Yeah.
A little bit Vulcan-y.
Fascinating.
You know, I don't claim to have the power of success, but I do have a short that's got 4,600 views on it.
Nice.
I just
Super
held up a
Mario
game.
Brothers.
I just held up a game. I try to, like you said, throw anything against the wall, see if it sticks. But
Kat, I would love to do like headstone rubbings. When Tim Matthews, friend of
I'll
Dave's
rub
and
some
mine,
stones on your head.
went over to Ireland, they did some rubbings on cemeteries and
Oh, yeah.
Celtic crosses and stuff. It was just pretty neat stuff. And they framed them. Put 'em up. Very cool.
that slave cemetery, it has like, I think 12 graves. I think only 5 of them have the original headstones left.
They all look like Rainey, Beth Kirkham. You're right.
'Cause
My first three kids,
friend-
my older 3 kids, they all look like me. My second 3 kids all look like Rainey. So
that
More
could
to
be a
steam.
good thing.
what's that?
That could be a good thing.
It is.
Oh, what
They
are
say
they?
don't look like the mailman,
Mm.
who's a woman.
Or Uncle Dave.
See the
Or
thing
Uncle
on
Dave, yeah.
here. On my phone, it drives me insane.
Well, guys, guess what? It's 10:33. I'm going to call it a half hour early because I'm starving, even though it's late at night.
I
And,
understand that.
Foods.
I'm hungry. I got nothing more to
But
talk about.
Before
I'm
we
talked
dump
out.
anyone, did we have any of our listeners that were in Tennessee that were affected by these tornadoes
I don't know.
or Alabama?
Anybody from Tennessee listening tonight?
They had tornadoes in Tennessee.
Last week they had one that went through and just devastated an entire town.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, Mercy Chefs.
Did you hear?
It's probably when it was raining last week because it was raining bad. They had hail, not hail, like 30 miles. I mean, they had hail, and I know my friend's house had the roof blown off.
Yeah, it was like
But it
Friday
wasn't really-
night or Saturday. Friday
Yeah,
or
that's the day
Saturday
it was
night.
storming here. Saturday
Thank
and
you, Barbie D.
Friday and Saturday. Like, it was cool today. It was 68 degrees today. Tomorrow it goes back up to 85.
I'd like to have 68 degrees right now. I'm afeared, Dave, that we're gonna have a hot summer this year.
Mississippi's
that
right
could
down
be.
the street.
Coming. All right, and on that note, I'm gonna let both of you gentlemen go because I'm
Give
gonna
the
go.
other young'uns a hug from me and give the wife a hug from me, and I'll see you all later.
Will do. See you, Uncle Dave. See you, Field Guy.
See
Thanks
ya.
for coming in. There's my son and me. Can you do the live long and prosper thing with your hand? All right, there it is. Live long and prosper, folks. We're going to get out of here. So we'll talk to you all soon. Oh, I can't do that yet. Hold on. Hold your hand. Hold your hand up there. Don't go yet. Here we go. Okay, we're getting out of here now. Good night. Live long and prosper.